a normal office worker, focused solely on her career and dismissive of romance. Never imagined her life would take a turn straight out of a storybook. She had always thought love and fairy tale endings were trivial until one evening, leaving the office later than usual, she became the victim of a carjacking. The gun pressed to her head, her heart raced, and under the pressure, she lost control of her car. In a blur of metal and screeching tires, the vehicle collided with a truck. When she came to, she wasn't in the hospital or in her own body. Instead, she had woken up as Madeline Rosehart, a secondary character in a romance novel she had never read. Blood trickled from her mouth, and as she slowly regained awareness, a blonde-haired man burst in, shouting for someone named Torsten. Confused and shaken, she reflected that if she had known the story, perhaps this fate could have been avoided. Her thoughts were interrupted by the presence of a striking young man with dark hair and piercing purple eyes. A lock of hair falling to the tip of his nose, small moles dotting his face. His blank stare seemed to pierce through her, and a single word hovered in her mind. "Dear?" A few months earlier, in the comfort of her bedroom, a lady-in-waiting named Annie gently knocked on her door, waking Madeline for the day's events. The weight of the memories or, perhaps the dreams of her new life pressed on her mind. Ever since waking as Madeline Rosehart, fragments of the girl's past, her personality, the people around her, and pieces of her noble upbringing flooded her thoughts, leaving her with more questions than answers. She struggled to adjust to this inherited life of nobility while still remembering the ordinary woman she had been. Two ladies-in-waiting helped her prepare for the day, assisting with her dress and hair. While pampering was pleasant, it was overshadowed by the looming engagement that awaited her. One of the ladies, Maria, gushed about the virtues of Prince Elijah, someone who had known Madeline since childhood and seemed the perfect match. Madeline's mind flinched at the thought, recalling fleeting images of negotiations, childhood friends, and a boy she couldn't quite place. Yet the rumors of Duke Icewood, the man she was actually promised to, painted a starkly different picture. A ruthless soldier, a violent and merciless figure, feared for his cruelty on the battlefield. Madeline resolved quietly that she would not submit willingly to this arranged marriage. Later that day, she arrived at the Duchess Campbell Manor for the engagement ceremony, accompanied by her attendants. Veiled and composed in her light blue dress, she reflected on the necessity of witnesses given the Duke's notorious reputation. Despite the societal expectations and the long-arranged agreement between their families, she had no intention of marrying a man she barely knew. Holding a bouquet of red roses, she approached the ceremony, aware of every gaze and whisper surrounding her. The Duke, dark-haired and imposing, called out to her, his presence commanding and his expression unreadable as he reached out suddenly, grabbing her hand. Shocked, a voice called out her name, but before she could react, he guided her firmly away. A sharp sound echoed in the room, followed by the slam of his hand against the wall beside her head, trapping her in place. He sneered, almost mocking, as he spoke her name, calling it a joke. Then came a pause, a moment of quiet tension, before he asked if she remembered him. Madeline's confusion deepened. She didn't recognize him, couldn't place him, but the familiarity in his voice and presence was unnerving. He leaned closer, brushing her hair aside, and though she protested, he continued, noting that despite their brief acquaintance, he had no trouble recognizing her. Madeline narrows her eyes, frowning as she studies him. He's uncomfortably close, too tactile for a stranger. And for a moment, she wonders if he might be one of Madeline Rosehart's old lovers. A slow smirk spreads across his face, and he asks if she's done staring. She notices the small marks on his face and the pale purple of his gaze. Recognition struck her abruptly. This was the man with the gun before the car accident, the one responsible for her sudden plunge into this strange world. Fragments of shattered mirrors appear, reflecting pieces of their past and present lives, blurring the line between reality and fiction. Madeline was in disbelief, wondering if they were both hallucinating at the same time. But he cut her short, insisting this was no trick of the mind. His hand brushed near her lips, taunting her with the idea of living inside some romance novel. Flustered, Madeline tries to assert herself, warning him to remove his hand and insisting his words made no sense. But he cuts her off, revealing the shocking truth. The Two-Faced Prince and I, which is the title of the very novel she now inhabited, and the fact that if she did not believe him, they would both die. The gravity of their situation hung heavy as they faced each other. Two individuals caught between worlds, bound by a story neither fully understood. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. And if you want the next part, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.